Welcome to the after party. Welcome to the after party. Did you bring some snacks and treats?
Yes, it did.
I hope you got me something to eat.
Maybe.
Welcome to the after party. Coming to the after party.
Right now.
I've been waiting here all day to act like a fool this way. Welcome to the after party. Join us in the after party.
Right now.
Oh, chocolate and gabbing, maybe some microphone gabbing at the after party.
With DJ Eric, Paige.
Oh, Canada graphs. I wish I had a version that didn't cut your name out of it, because when you're here, I could leave that version in. Because I have 3 of them in save now to use. So
I'm here so inconsistently. You would need one with Lance in there now, and
I'm gonna have to talk.
You'd need 5 variations.
I'm gonna have to talk to some people that do edits and see if they could find a way to add some of that stuff in. That would be hilarious.
First question I see in the chat: where's Ben?
Well, I see him in the waiting room, but he's not there. There he is.
Hello.
There's Ben. So
I am glad we did not bet on this.
yeah, I didn't. Well,
Made it.
he made it. He actually made it.
People.
Anyway, so we have like an OG after party here because we've got Ben and Canada Graphs with Paigey and myself. So this is like old school. Lance he's been busy the last couple of weeks. I think he's got a lot of church stuff going on, so he hasn't been able to be here. But he said he's going to be streaming on Monday on his channel. So we'll jump over there and see what he's doing, catch up with him, because I don't think he's been able to do any content. I think he's been super, super, super busy. So anyway, so we have several topics today. I'm sure that not everybody is going to have something to add to every topic because it's a wide variety of stuff. But I want to talk a little bit about Stargirl. I know Ben doesn't watch that, so it doesn't really matter. But that's going to be a very short topic. My review is up from yesterday, and I give most of my thoughts over there. But I'll open up the floor to questions if anybody wants to ask anything about it. And it's one of those things where it's a murder mystery, so it's a building thing every single week. Ben, as someone who watches a lot of film, you know how murder mysteries work. It's like it's like a who did it, and then one person gets killed, and then other person, it's like a red herring, and then it really is sort of those. It's like it's hard to review because it's a murder mystery over a whole season instead of a movie. So anyway, we'll open the floor for that. Talk a little bit about She-Hulk. I don't really have much to say about that episode because She-Hulk has been sort of self-contained in the first season, and there's not a lot to spoil really because it's literally a sitcom. So I'll talk about that very briefly. But the main stories for this week's after party are going to be the announcement of Constantine 2, which is huge. We're going to talk about the fact that NBC, Universal, and Comcast may be buying Warner Brothers Discovery, which who saw that coming? We got the Batman Cape Crusader news. Matter of fact, I'm going to move that up. We'll talk about that first before we talk about the other stuff. About the bidding war for that cartoon, which I think is very interesting. And then Canada Graphs has an updated blog with some Superman and Lois photos that we're going to look at as well today. And Paigey's here, but I don't know where he apparently had to run to do something, so he'll be back, I guess.
He's right now fighting a kangaroo for control of his car.
So anyway, we're going to get Stargirl out of the way. I know that you guys, Canada Graphs, are you watching it or you're not watching it?
I am not.
Okay.
I want to, but I'm so far. I didn't even watch last season, so I'm just no sense jumping in until I've caught up.
Okay, so this season, just to give a quick update about what it is, it's a murder mystery. Apparently, there's some organization who is going into Blue Valley, and they're apparently trying to murder people one at a time, and that's kind of the story of the season. The first person to get killed off was the gambler, and they don't know who did it. He had a laptop that was stolen that proved that people were being blackmailed. And we really don't know much else about it's really a slow burn this season, quite a bit. And so, but before we get into details of that, I do have a couple Team Eric member chats. Flash Freak goes, been testing live streaming through StreamYard on YouTube. There's a 3-second delay. that I got with ultra low latency, where are the ways to get it lower? I don't know if there is a way. StreamYard compensates for latency, but sometimes there can be almost like a 10 to 15 second delay, which is really weird. And I don't know if it's StreamYard or if it's YouTube. I don't know. Have you guys ever experienced anything like that on your channels?
Not particularly.
I've had some very inconsistent ones. Like StreamYard for me has gotten better in the last year, but when I first started with StreamYard, I would have 10 plus seconds sometimes. In the last year, I think it's gotten better.
Okay.
I find directly through YouTube, like when I used to stream on my phone directly through the YouTube site, it was much shorter. It was like 2 seconds. But when I go through my phone through StreamYard to my computer, it's like 5, 8 seconds. It's part of the reality of streaming, you know?
Yeah, and I think that it really comes down to whoever your provider is, and then whatever service you're using. Every time you jump through a server, or like for example, if you're streaming from your computer directly to YouTube, that is going to be the fastest connection you could possibly get. If you go through StreamYard, you're going to get a small delay. If you go through OBS, you're going to get a small delay. It's just that's the way it works.
Right.
Anyway, the other one we have is from Turbo Studios, who's been a member for 3 months. Thank you so much, Turbo, for being here, for being an enhanced Team Eric member, which, by the way, if you are an enhanced Team Eric member, you do get your social media listed in the description box for my videos. So make sure you go through the community tab and find that post. I'll probably make another post about it so that if you are an enhanced member, you get that benefit as well. So go over and do that. So,
I could have become an enhanced member.
Anyone else think that Pat Dugan killed the gambler? So here we go. This is the Who Did It part of the season. We don't know who's done any of these things. It's all basically speculation at this point. And I think the idea is that it could be anybody, right? So like the classic movies, like what is it? Murder on the Orient Express, the River Nile, all of those things been in classic cinema. It really is about hot potato. Like it's basically like you're looking around the room and everybody is a suspect, right? That's the way it is. Like everybody could possibly do it.
Yeah.
Are you a fan of that kind of stuff, Canada Graphs, or are you not a fan of like those mysteries?
Yes and no. It depends how well it's done. Like one of my favorite shows that's come out that wasn't like a superhero show in the last decade is a show called The Killing. And the first 2 seasons was almost exactly that. You had one person get killed and they spent 2 seasons going through the entire roster of the show, giving red herring after red herring, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, when it's done well, it's amazing.
And I actually think this season, we know that this murder mystery is going to go throughout the whole season. So we're still very early. We're only 3 episodes in. So it's going to be a while before we get any kind of like solid confirmation. Now, Cody here with a $5 super chat and a Team Eric member. Thank you so much, Cody. Goes, the crossover is happening. They're getting ready to film at the school. But didn't you say Breck left Canada already?
Left Vancouver.
Oh,
but
okay.
Toronto.
To go to could be to Toronto. No one knows where she's going. All they know is she left today on a plane. So that person did say it was supposed to be on Saturday the 17th. If she left here, say like on the 5:00 Toronto flight, she would get there at like noon Toronto time. That's enough time to shoot 4 or 6 hours there.
And that would be a cameo, right? Like a cameo.
Yeah, it would be a 1-day shoot. I mean, maybe it rolls over to tomorrow, but Sunday shooting is rare.
Interesting. Well, there we go. And that person deleted their account and privated their main account. So
yeah.
Well, I think that was due to general harassment by you, Eric. So.
Oh, was it? Was it me? Was it my fault? So Paigey has returned.
Yeah,
mate. I've had a fucked morning. Like usually Sunday is nothing. So last night I went to the football. One too many beers, so I couldn't drive. So I had to leave the car with my mates. Had to get an Uber this morning. There's a fun run, or not a fun run, but like a running festival on. So the Ubers were more expensive. Get there, realize I promised my nan I'd take her to church early because there's like a morning tea thing for the Queen thing.
Confirmed.
Well, my nan does. I go to church maybe like twice a year, if lucky. And then I had to go to Coles, and then I was like, shit, I'm running out of time. And that's why I left stuff in the car. And when I'm getting back, one of my neighbors out the front wants a yarn. Oh, Jesus Christ.
There we go.
I have a related story.
Yeah, what is your related story?
We've heard enough about Hedwig. We've heard enough.
No. The other day you asked me, am I going to the Queen's funeral? Well, today we actually went and checked it out.
Oh.
And there's lines
What?
literally like 5
Oh, you
miles
checked the
long.
queue.
Yeah.
My second cousin lives in London. She works at Citibank. Well, actually, I shouldn't have said that. But anyway, I don't think they're going to really care.
Wow, lightweight confirmed from Flash Freak there. So
Yeah.
Well, it's not. I didn't get drunk. It's just that I knew I couldn't drive. You know, they just put RBTs everywhere outside the football, so I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
Not an idiot. But yeah, she did the queue. I haven't talked to her. I haven't seen her in like almost 10 years. But in like the little family email thread, she took like a selfie. I'm like, okay, awesome.
Selfie.
She did like the long one. She did the long queue when it was the longest. When it was like over 24 hours as well.
There was like,
but because they're not working, they're not like she's not going into the office or anything like that.
Yeah.
I guess good point. Like, and the UK right now has got a holiday, so it's not like you're missing work to do it.
No one's working this weekend. So,
but she said it was worth it. But we're like, our family's like very, military and
all confirmed,
like, that type of thing.
Again, lots of insight. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, but it was a crazy line. It was
Ben, you're Brexit, so it doesn't really matter.
So getting back to the Stargirl stuff, yes, Renew Stargirl is a big thing. We will know something very soon. And I know Paige's talked about this in several videos. Ben, have you done any videos about the Renew Stargirl movement? I don't think you have, actually. No. I will say this. I am expecting to hear that the show is ending with season 3. I'm expecting that to be the thing.
Really?
I would be shocked if we get a season 4, only because of all the other news we're getting with NBC, Universal, and WB now.
Okay, look, can we put a ultimatum down?
What's that?
What will you do? Because you're saying it shocked, so you're saying it's very unlikely that it gets renewed. If it gets renewed, what do you do, Eric? I'm thinking shirtless chalk, but.
Yeah, I agree. Full on.
Why would I give that away for free? I can sell that on my OnlyFans. So it's like, why would I do that?
Well, I mean, everyone's paying the price of betting against you, Eric. Yeah. So that's what.
No, I actually would love for the show to get renewed, but they're not promoting it at all. Really, there's no.
Yeah, actually, that's a bad sign. That's a really bad sign.
You should hope that it doesn't get renewed, because that's what you kept doing for Legends, and they kept getting renewed.
Yeah.
So
here's the thing: I want to be wrong in this, because I love Stargirl, so I don't want to be right about it, but it just doesn't look good for the show. Another thing is, people were saying that it's not available, and I can't confirm this, but internationally it used to be on like Amazon. Now it's not anymore. So it's like,
well, it's still here day for day in Australia.
Yeah, but are there other places where it was only on Amazon, or no?
I think it was just the UK. Maybe other places in Europe, but I remember it was like UK was the big one.
But UK rights issues are so bad. Like nothing.
Yeah, well, that's why Peacemaker took so long to come out in England, because
it's just terrible.
It was either too expensive or those people fighting for it and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So just ignore UK stuff.
By the way, Lance just stopped in. He says he misses us. So yeah, Lance is busy. So please send him some love. He'll be back soon, hopefully next week. We'll see.
I was gonna say I'm not like that up to date on Stargirl, but in my mind I was like, I don't know, I feel like there's another season. Maybe they would, in my mind I'm like, maybe they announce a season 4 but say it's ending in season 4, like a shortened season. Like
I would like that. I mean, I would like the good thing is that they have come out and said, I think it was Breck actually said this in an interview, that they wrapped up season 3 in a way that it feels like a satisfying ending, whether the show gets renewed or not. So I think that's good news. I mean, we won't be left on like some massive cliffhanger if the show were to end, like say Legends and Batwoman, which here's the worst thing about Legends, right? Like, I know people are upset about Batwoman. I am too, but Batwoman is one of those things where it had growing pains every single season, unfortunately. And it just never, it finally, at the end of season 3, kind of got into its stride. And that's when it got axed. Legends, on the other hand, though, that's 7 seasons of content that you won't have a resolution. Like, if you go back to binge that show, you're going to go through 7 seasons and be left on a cliffhanger. It's really weird.
Should I bring the good news?
What's the good news?
Well, it's good news for Eric.
What is it?
It's bad news for Ben and Canada Graphs.
Oh.
One of you is going to be a loser today.
Oh, he's got a quiz.
Trivia.
So, people in the chat, get your bets in. Get your bets in.
So Staggervord, that is going to be like
Ben is nervous. Look at him.
This is two topics away. I know you're still going to be here. You usually stay for the whole stream. We're going to do a whole thing on this because I have an article pulled up, a very updated article that talks about like details of this, and it looks like David Zaslav might be in trouble here. So we'll talk more about that in just a moment. But yeah, we're going to talk about this. This is going to be one of the bigger stories we talk about. So thank you so much for the super chat. Look at Ben was sitting back in his chair.
No, I was gonna say, I've been loving House of the Dragon, and I was like, fuck, this Alison Hightower looks so familiar. And I was like, I don't know why. I was like, why does she look so familiar? And then I realized she played young Wonder Woman.
Okay. All right.
I was like, why does she look so familiar? But then I figured that out the other day. So there's my brain spark of the week.
Speaking of Wonder Woman, we're not speaking of Wonder Woman. With Stargirl,
is that a okay? I thought there might have been a loose Patty Jenkins Ben lookalike.
No, but I will say Patty Jenkins. Apparently, they're not doing that Star Wars movie with her anymore.
Oh, that's terrible.
So,
Which is awkward because that was the movie that they legitimately went out of their way to do the promo for.
But the other thing that's kind of weird is where is the announcement for a third Wonder Woman movie? When is there's nothing. There's no script. There's no.
Well, it got announced. It just hasn't been greenlit.
Yeah, but still, it's been a while. Wonder Woman 84 came out years ago.
Well, I think it's just the fact that the whole WBD thing.
I guess
because they won't want to lose Gal Gadot because. Though she's not the best actress, she still is Wonder Woman. So that's they won't want to. And also, she's all in apparently cameoing in all these the three next movies.
Flash. I know that
she's in Flash, Aquaman, and Shazam.
Mm-hmm.
So she's
at least maybe not Aquaman.
And people like Wonder Woman, even if they didn't like the latest film. Lots of people like the first one. So
I would not be surprised if they greenlight another Wonder Woman, but do not bring Patty Jenkins back.
Yeah, that's
because the second one was so poorly.
Do you mean the third one?
The third one, the next one.
I think they do the third one with Patty Jenkins, but that might be her last one.
Yeah, I agree.
But I have to ask, what are the glasses, Eric? Are they Minecraft? Are they Roblox?
I was going to say Roblox.
Are they fairy bread?
What do you want them to be? They're whatever. It's a fantasy. Whatever you want them to be.
I know. I wouldn't mind them being fairy bread, but. You didn't make that yet, have you?
I have not. Can we just get through Stargirl and then we can have all the other chatter we want? Because I want to get done with that.
You know me, Eric. I like to see how long.
I know, and I'm reining you in now because you've gone off the rails here. We're trying to finish Stargirl, and these two guys.
Look, Ben is a bad influence.
He is, but here's the thing: they've not watched it, so I just want to get through it so we can talk about the stuff that everybody can contribute to. So with Stargirl, Patty signed off for 1 3, but
now you're changed. Look, and now who's delaying the stream? Seriously,
I've only got a couple things to say about Stargirl because it was an episode where it kind of focuses on the big action scene at the end, and we have the murder mystery stuff. I want to know where the police department is in Blue Valley. Where are the cops at? Where are the detectives at? There's literally tons of stuff happening, and there's no presence from the police department at all. And this is one of the things I talked about in my video. And somebody said, oh, well, they said the first murder was a weather accident, which still makes no sense because there was no bad weather that night. So I don't know where that would have came from. So the fact that they blame it on that, and then the cops don't show up for that, and then they blow up a grocery store. They're fighting in the parking lot where cars are driving in front of the building, and no one calls the cops.
Do you know what my theory is?
What is your theory?
Ben, you're wrong, but still a good attempt. It could be inspiration from Hot Fuzz.
Maybe.
It could be inspiration from Hot Fuzz. I'm not too sure, but it gives me Hot Fuzz vibes.
It's just weird.
Especially the whole murder mystery.
That whole town has so much stuff happen, and the cops are just non-existent. It's like, I mean, I get it. It's a small town. But still, it's a little weird that maybe the cops just aren't there.
Do you think like Blue Valley, like what was the thing? Like what was maybe they actually did they went overboard with ACAB and just there's no cops.
Oh, I mean, Well, I mean, some people brought up some good points about the whole like ISA being in charge of the police department. And I get that, but it's been a bit since that happened. They would have no reason to continue to be beholden to an organization that just no longer exists. So I don't know. It's a little weird. But the one big thing we get at the end after the fight scene is we find out that Starman is attacked by the same thing that attacked the Gambler. And it looks like it can fly. Is that
and it looks like it's Grundy, but it's not Grundy because Grundy's apparently buried.
Right.
So
is it another Grundy?
My thought is that because just before he gets attacked, like lifted into the air and then dropped, suplex? I don't know. But just before that scene, you see Cameron's grandparents or Icicle's parents rushing out the door. And I'm like, are they making some like weird Norwegian ice monster? Because we didn't see where they went. They just quickly rushed out the door. And also early in the episode, they looked sus at Starman or Sylvester in the diner. They like stared at him through the window and then looked at each other and quickly walked away.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then again, how would they know that he's going to the thing?
Yeah, I don't know. That's the thing about the murder mystery. This is what we've talked about is that there's that before you came back, we mentioned that murder mysteries, when you're watching a movie, you kind of get a resolution after thinking about it for like 2 hours.
Hold on. I think Canada Graphs might have gone back in time and picked up a 1920s typewriter.
Does it sound that bad?
Is that Jesus Christ? Is that Agatha Christie?
He's writing a murder mystery. He's writing a murder mystery right now. Also, yes, Stargirl, oddly enough, on the 28th will be a repeat. They're taking a break with Stargirl.
So not this week's episode. Yeah, I think I said that a couple of weeks ago.
But why? I looked it up. There's no sporting event. What's the purpose of a break? The show has been filmed and done for months now. I
think it's just to expand it into December.
Really? You think that's what it is?
I think that's literally it. And also, I think they take that week break. When it comes back the week after, I think that's when all those other shows premiere, like The Walker and stuff like that. So maybe that's...
Yeah.
And no, then maybe there's a cliffhanger, Eric.
Maybe.
Oh, it's the World Series. It's the World Series. That's on like every night.
I looked it up. I didn't see that listed anywhere. I think it's football season, right? Why would there?
It's football, baseball, season? But baseball's on like heading into the finals now.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
It?
Baseball season hasn't even wrapped yet, let alone the playoffs. What week did you say it was that they're on?
28. It's 2 weeks from, or a week
like
from
2 weeks
this
from
Wednesday.
Now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they might have barely started the playoffs then.
Yeah. Yeah, we know that Starman is alive in the promo images, but we don't know A, if that's a flashback, or B, if he has to explain how he came back to life a second time. So we don't know. Because he looked very hurt at the end of the episode. So, and I'm not even going to ask who done it because we're still so early in the season that it's going to be this just whoever people think it is at this point.
I did like that they confirmed that Mr. Bones is the one looking through the surveillance stuff, or at least heavily suggested it was him.
Didn't you say that though? Wasn't that one of your things early on? Or
well, I thought he'd be the one looking through the surveillance stuff. I was like, I know who else it could have been. My only other option was the grandparents, but I was like, would they have this secret like old looking bunker thing?
This is the other thing. Not only does he have to explain how he came back to life, but he also like, are they ever going to explain where the cosmic staff came from? Because I know it wasn't him that made it; it was the previous Starman. But
I think they suggested that you'll get either Ted Knight or Jack Knight sort of things there.
Yeah,
maybe.
We'll
so
see.
that was before. That was like in between seasons 2 and 3.
All right. So in the chat, leave your score for this week's Stargirl. What did you think of it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? And if you have any more super chats about it, feel free to ask away. My review's up. Paige's review is up. Andy's got a preview for the next episode that's available. Or the trailer, I guess. Trailer video.
Yeah.
Trailer video. Oh yeah, the Crocs legal loophole. Yeah, I like that they added that line in. That was I was like, okay, they finally answered it because that was bugging me, but not enough for me to be like, oh, it's making it really hard for me to enjoy. Everybody seems to be loving it, but I do believe, unfortunately, that Stargirl is struggling a little bit with the CW stuff. We'll have to see where it goes. I'm going to talk very briefly about She-Hulk because I didn't do a review of it this week as well. And I just want to explain why. So the issue is, and this is what I had feared a little bit about the show going into it, because it's very similar to Powerless and some of the other comedies.
Ooh.
When a show is only like 22, 23 minutes long and it's a comedy series, it's really hard for me to, I know other people can review that. It's really hard for me to review it because comedy is very subjective. And I could be sitting here for 15 minutes talking about how funny it was to me. But at the end of the day, some people are going to find it, some people funny and some people are not. So it really is up to like that. And then the other thing is, I don't want to turn into like an Easter egg video person. Like, I don't want to be like, did you see that on the wall? Did you see this on the wall? Did you see that on the desk? And like, I don't want to do that. I'm enjoying She-Hulk. I think it's really good. Yes, Cal, I did see your super chat. I'm going to get to it. Give me a second, please. I'm enjoying it, but I can't spend every week talking about Easter eggs and stuff with She-Hulk, right? So I will talk about the episodes when something big happens, like something massive. Like next week, we're going to have a Daredevil showing up most likely. I'll probably do a review on that one. So yeah, I'll do those kinds of things. But Easter egg videos, I can't make, it doesn't make it worth it for me to put like 15 minutes worth of content up to talk about like one Easter egg. I find that it gets a bit much when you're talking about something like that for like 15 minutes. So I'm not going to do that. So if I don't do a She-Hulk review, it's not because I'm not watching it. And you can certainly jump on social media and ask me what I thought about it. It's just that there was nothing big enough in the episode for me to talk about. Because this week they talked about a trademark thing with Titania and She-Hulk, which was fine. A lot of people were complaining about it. They're like, oh, this kind of breaks the show for me. But then the boys did it all season long and nobody had an issue with it. So I don't really understand that complaint either. Like most of the jokes with the boys show is similar to She-Hulk. It's just more adult than She-Hulk is. Also the idea of like this new character, Luke Jacobson, I believe is their name, being like an Edna Mode from the Invincibles, which by the way, love the Invincibles. That's the Incredibles. Love that movie. It's really good. But Edna Mode, very similar to that type of character where he makes costumes for superheroes at street level. And I think that's fine. I think he's a good character, adds a lot to the show. I'm still enjoying it. I know Ben has not watched She-Hulk yet. No. Candid Graphs, are you watching it at all or not?
No.
Okay. And Paigey, you're watching it, but you're not like
this week's episode. I turned on, I was like, I can't watch it.
Yeah, you didn't watch it.
Got 5 minutes into it, and I just sort of like, you know, when you just like lose interest, and I just end up on my phone. And I don't touch my phone when I watch shows normally. And then I randomly looked up, and it was the end credit sequence.
Yeah,
it wasn't even the end of the episode; it was the end credit sequence. Like, I didn't even know what happened in the episode outside of like her taking the She-Hulk thing. And I think I lost focus when they went to the shop or whatever it was. Was it the shop or was it like a event or whatever it was?
They went to a tea shop that ended up being a front for a superhero costume business, I believe, is the way it worked.
Oh, is that the connection? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It was basically a fake. Well, it was a real tea restaurant, but the back of it had like a superhero thingy on it. Or no. Okay. Let me connect the dots here. The guy at the tea shop was selling bootleg Avengers merchandise. And I was talking about the makeup event with Titania, but I also saw that bit when Adrian Chase goes there and Avengers or whatever it was. Avengers.
It's like a New Zealand.
That was pretty funny.
It's like a New Zealander saying Avengers.
Yeah, that was funny. But yeah, so I saw that and the Daredevil costume thing, which I think is fine. Yeah, I'm loving the show. But another thing that really makes it difficult is, and I talked about this, I don't remember what show it was that we had this discussion about, but I am so incredibly depressed with the amount of people that just want to spread negativity about the show that when I do a video about it and I have to read through comments of people just being hateful for no reason, it makes it really hard to do videos about something that I'm loving when I'm dealing with people who are just nonstop, like coming in just to leave like negative comments. And I don't want to censor my comments. I don't like to go in and censor a lot of my comments. There are certain things that I do censor, but I don't like to generally censor comments just because people have a different opinion than I do. But it kind of takes the winds out of the sails of wanting to talk about something you're enthusiastic about when there's so many people that just make it a point of coming in and talking negative about it. So yeah, it's just, you know, it's kind of a thing. I'll talk about next week's episode probably because I know a lot of people are excited about Daredevil, and I will talk a little bit about that because we have the season 4 season 1, season 4 of Daredevil coming out on Disney Plus, and I'm really excited about that. So we'll get into that when we get there. Anyway, Cal here with a $1.99 super chat. This is about Stargirl. Do you think Cameron will become a villain? Well, I know these other two guys are not watching it, but Paigey, what are your thoughts on Cameron? I think his story is a little sporadic right now. I don't really know what's going to happen with it. It's just kind of like 2 minutes here, 2 minutes there. We're not getting a very clear story from him yet, I don't think.
I think if it was just a bit more consistent in season 2, I'd be fine. I think it's been fine what they've done so far in season 3. But then again, if they're a bit more consistent with it in season 2, we probably would have had the events that they're doing right now in season 3 happen in season 2. But I'm looking forward to seeing what happens because he could go either way.
I like his character. I feel like he's kind of on the outs right now. Another thing is Rick, Yolanda, and Beth aren't getting a ton at the moment.
Yeah. I mentioned that in my review, but I'm like, it's a concern, but it's more of a concern when we get like 5 or 6 episodes deep and the plot has really started rolling. That's when I think it becomes an actual issue. But at the moment, it's just a minor concern, which I hope that is addressed or fixed.
So the thing is, I don't think it's just the female-led shows. She-Hulk is not just a female-led series. It's also a very different type of show.
It's a very niche series.
Yeah, it's a very specific audience that they're looking to like appeal to. I have a theory about She-Hulk.
Actually, you know what? Because I watch both of them. So Ben and Canada Graphs are the sexists. Wow, what a change. I'm not being accused of something.
So I have a theory about She-Hulk that I...
Hey, change your name, Ben. No, none of that today. None of that. And the picture. What is this?
What are you talking about, mate? Oh, my name's Paige.
What is...
I come from Australia.
So
that is the worst attempted accent I've ever heard.
I have a theory about She-Hulk in terms of like the demographic that they're looking for and what they're doing here. So I believe that the writers of She-Hulk, the people that are putting the show together, just want to write this comedy about She-Hulk. I think that's the goal from that team. I think Marvel's attempt to try and bridge the show with people that would not normally watch it is all of the Easter egg stuff in it. The inclusion of Wong, the inclusion of the Daredevil stuff, all of that. I think those are things that they're putting in the show to sort of try and appease the people that are not interested in watching a sitcom about She-Hulk. And I think the problem is it's causing resentment from a lot of people.
Well,
you know what I mean?
I think it's also,
does that make any sense? Like, I feel like that's what's happening. And I don't have an issue with it because I like She-Hulk as a show, whether the Easter eggs are there or not. But I do believe that the Easter eggs that are there are to sort of bridge the gap between the people that would watch She-Hulk and the regular like MCU fans.
Yeah. I just think, like, I personally don't think it's that funny. I'm mainly watching it just for continuity's sake and seeing where this character ends up, as well as if they bring back in Bruce or Hulk and follow on from that. It's not my type of comedy just because I don't think it's that funny at all.
Yeah,
I think it's
comedy
more
is
like
subjective.
I think it's like really like low brow, but in like a censored way. And also I think they go for trending instead of actual good moments. That's like the Megan Thee Stallion thing was literally just a trend on Twitter.
I think that was the issue I had with some of the stuff the Flash did in that one season with like the lightsabers and the breakdancing is when there's moments.
I thought you loved the breakdance.
No, I hated it. But I think there's moments in the show where you can see that they're trying to break the social media wall to get people to come in and watch the show. And that's what I think those little cameos are for, right? That's what I think that is happening.
But so you're getting like the general user through like the pop culture stuff and whatever, but then you're trying to get that Marvel core audience or excited for stuff in the future with like having Wong, having Daredevil, having a pair of Deadpool sneakers and stuff like that.
Right. I think, and we can move on after this if you want or whatever, but I do think that like if you look at the MCU now, and I'm saying this to everybody who has
fought.
I don't know.
That was Eric.
Was not me.
Yeah,
I didn't even move. I'm just sitting here.
Well, do you have to like, do an acrobatic movement?
No, but yeah. So
cartwheel.
So with the MCU stuff,
here I go.
So many people asked Marvel to do something other than their formula, and now that they're doing other stuff, they're like, no, we want the formula. And then Marvel will go back to the formula. They'll be like, oh, you're not taking enough risk. So you have to allow them like an opportunity to do stuff that isn't like regular stuff. And I would say stuff like She-Hulk and Thor: Love and Thunder and things like that kind of break that formula that everybody said they were tired of. Eternals. And the problem is that people say they want something, and then when they get it, they're like, no. That's not exactly what I wanted. So I think what Marvel needs to do is they need to stop giving a shit about what people are screaming about because they had a successful thing going and just push forward with whatever their vision is and stop trying to appeal to people that are saying, you should change this, you should change that. Because clearly letting that guide your direction of your franchise is not going to make everybody happy. And you're never going to please everybody. Also, I think trying to please everyone is also a bad idea. If you have a niche audience that you want to watch your content, then you can focus on that. That's fine. I'm not trying to appeal to people that watch sports. I'm not trying to appeal to people who watch classic movies like Ben. I'm not trying to appeal to people who are looking to watch reality TV. I am looking for people that like comic book stuff. So it's okay to have a very specific audience. And I think that's another thing that people need to understand is that if a show has a specific audience it's trying to get to watch the show, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. And if you don't get it, that's fine too. You can easily just walk away from it. I think there's a lot of people that want things to be what they want it to be, and that's not what it is. And that's never a good way to look at something. Matter of fact, not related to Marvel, but just in general, if you're going to review something, and I know this for a fact, I've read several studies about it, I've watched several videos about it. A fact. Most people that review movies try to avoid anything about that movie until they go in and watch it. Is that correct, Ben? They want to go into it with as open a mind as possible.
Yeah, of course.
Because if you go in watching every interview, every article, every trailer, you are going to be swayed one way or another when you go into that film.
And you're going to be swallowed. It's not going to be fun.
So the best thing to do is to watch that first trailer and then don't watch anything else. Just go into the movie. And sometimes you don't even have to watch the trailer. Because if you spend years and years of time being mad about something because you watched every single minute thing that came out about it, the chance of you going into that and giving it a shot is slim to none because you've already committed yourself to disliking it. So I think for people to review something that is not a normal thing for them, watching it is going to sway you. I get biased. All of our shows we watch every single week. Over time, you get to a certain level that you expect from it. And when you don't get that, it ends up becoming a problem. I mean, look at all the discourse about The Flash. You know what I mean? Like there's people that loved it for like 7 seasons or 6 seasons and they started hating it. It just happens over time. So a lot of times, you know, with these shows and stuff, people have expectations of what they actually want it to be. And then it ends up not being that and they get mad about it. So it's okay to walk away from something. Paige walks away from stuff all the time. So there we go.
Yeah. And obviously, you know, what the soundtrack of my life is, you know, playing alongside that.
What is it?
Craig David. I'm walking away.
Lance here with the 99 super chat.
How did you not get that, Eric? I'm so disappointed in you.
I moved right over that. Cameron's voice is so deep. When he fully turns an Icicle Jr., he'll be like a big. Yeah, he does have a super deep voice. I did notice that. It's like
maybe that's the villain inside him.
I don't know. You know who else? Who's I'm blanking on his name now. Tony Todd, right? That played Zoom.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, great voice, great deep voice.
Amazing.
So good. So I think the actor, who's the actor that plays Cameron? Do you know, Paige, off the top of your head, what his name is?
Hunter Sansone or Sansoni.
He's got a career in voice acting. If he decides to move on from regular stuff, he could be like every villain in every cartoon ever.
Well, it's like Sam Witwer. Sam Witwer has the deep voice as well, and he does a lot of voice acting.
Yeah, video games, that'd be like huge push for that. Okay, so moving on. Now we're gonna go jump through these stories so we can get to the pictures and get to this quiz that we have coming up.
I'm walking away.
So Batman Cape Crusader. We talked about this a while back. This is the series that Warner Brothers decided not to do on HBO Max, so they're pushing forward with it, trying to sell it to people. And it looks like Netflix, Amazon, or Apple could be getting it. Says with the anticipated DC animated series Batman Cape Crusader in search of a new home after being dropped by HBO Max, a number of top contenders have emerged. Last month, the Hollywood Reporter reported that a number of streaming companies were interested in picking up Cape Crusader, including Netflix, Hulu, and Apple. The outlet may have reports now the big contenders to acquire the Batman show are Netflix, Amazon, and Apple. In other words, depending on how things go from here, Cape Crusader could end up streaming on Netflix itself or perhaps Prime Video or Apple TV Plus. Notably, while HBO Max is considered the de facto streaming service for all things DC these days, Netflix already had a major original series based on a DC comic in the form of Sandman, which, by the way, was extremely well received. And then he goes on to just talk about the creation here. So what are the chances of this moving to another, like if you guys had a guess, who do you think would be the best fit for this Batman animated series? Because this is something that could go on for multiple seasons, right? It could be like an ongoing thing. I personally think that it would work really well on Netflix.
Yeah.
It won't be Prime Video is probably a 0 out of 10 chance. Apple TV is maybe like a 3.
I would say Netflix.
But Netflix already has consistent animated stuff there already.
Yeah.
That is not made for kids or like is made for all ages. So they're probably the top. Like honestly, I'd probably give them like $1.50 odds, something like that.
And that's like good content to have down the line, right? If they have the rights to it, because that's a show that people will continue watching, right? If they watch the animated series, they're probably going to watch this.
And
also, honest, you could spin off into other stuff as well. Like,
right. And the other thing is that Netflix
stuff
already has a massive library of animated stuff. So I think this would work really, really, really well. And yes, Staggervore, I was going to mention that. Today is Batman Day for anybody who is a huge fan of Batman. Happy Batman Day. Any fond memories of Batman from the panel here? Anybody that has anything Batman related that you can go, yeah, Batman is cool?
I just remember when I was like 6, I had I think it was a green, or was it red? I think I had green and red Power Rangers outfit that I used to just run around the street in, and then I also had the Batman suit. But I'm pretty sure I lost the Batman suit, but it had the cowl and cape that all connected and went over your head. And I also remember watching like Michael Keaton's Batman. Like I think that was his first superhero movie my mum showed me when I was like 5 or something like that. Like the one thing, like one of the things I always say is like, ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight? Like it's always one of the quotes I always say randomly as well.
Yeah,
bit of a threatening one. It's always good at late at night when following someone. So
what about you, Ben? Any fond memories of Batman from growing up?
Okay. One big memory that I remember was when I was a kid, because I'm not that old.
What do you mean was? What do you mean was?
It was right now. No, but I remember when I wasn't old enough. Actually, I could go in the cinema to see it with like my parents or something. But I remember when The Dark Knight came out, and there was like the Joker posters were all on like the London buses and stuff. And I was like, I want to go see that film. My mom was like,
No,
you're not gonna go see that film.
Yeah, you can't take a 4-year-old to that.
I was not 4. I was about 10 or something. I don't know how old I was.
It wasn't 2 years ago.
What year did that come out? Was that 20?
Okay, I think it was like 9. Okay, I'll give it to you.
What year did that come out? Because I remember being in school. That was
2009.
That was
right.
It was 2008, 2009. It was the same year as Iron Man, I think. So whatever year Iron Man came out.
I was like 8 or 9. Okay.
That was insane. Like that was like the days before Twitter and all that, and like even YouTube was like a year old or something. So like that was like a word of mouth, like proper media hype thing. Yeah. That was massive. I remember everyone at school watched it and stuff like that. The only thing I think that was in comparison that was like Harry Potter, I think.
Yeah.
Back then.
I think like all my friends went to see it, and just my mum wouldn't let me because of the Joker. But also one of the big ways I got into watching DC was the first thing I watched was like properly watching, apart from the films. I've seen the films before, but TV wise, I watched Young Justice, which was like my kind of way in, and then I started like binging Batman the Animated Series, and yeah, that was like I love that show so much.
Teen Titans. Did you ever watch Teen Titans? That was the DC show when I was a kid. That's what
No, I remember it as a kid, but I didn't like get into it.
When there's trouble, you know who to call.
What about
Eric?
you?
Oh, you ruined it.
No, I'm not gonna sing anymore. Get copyright strike. What about you, Candagraphs? Were you ever a big Batman fan or no?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I am a little older than the rest of you, so I remember all the way back to like stuff like Gotham Knights on the CW. And no, but seriously, like when I was a kid, obviously
that was probably the best joke of the day. That was best joke of the day.
An amazing joke.
Obviously, like because of my age, I actually lived back when like the Adam West Batman was like the only superhero TV show that really existed. Like you didn't have the array of stuff we have now. I can't even remember the second one I remember watching, but the Adam West one. Through my whole childhood, that was probably the only live-action superhero show I can remember.
Wait, so you're
Wait, no, Lou Ferrigno, Incredible Hulk was like the only other one.
Yeah.
But there was very few back then. So everybody my age bracket probably has Adam West Batman is probably one of the first like 5 things they think of when they think of superheroes.
I think that was one of my first shows as well because my dad was obsessed. He's obsessed with that show, and so we watched that when I was like 5 or 4.
Wait, how old are you, Candagraphs? Just out of curiosity.
49.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, that makes sense.
How old is Eric?
46.
Ooh. Paigey, you're 52, right?
Close.
I think Paigey's probably like 27. That's my guess.
All right, so my Batman stuff is kind of interesting. So I loved, and I know it's campy, I know it can be cheesy, but it's also very dark. I love the 1989 Batman movie.
Why am I not surprised?
But I also, yeah.
Oh yeah, well, high five, digital high five, because we chose
so I love that. Also, that soundtrack is amazing. It's Prince did the whole soundtrack, and it's probably one of my favorite albums of all time. I think it's really, really good. But if I were to be straight up honest about my favorite Batman thing ever, it would be Batman the Animated Series. I love Batman the Animated Series. I love that show. I mean, to me, that is like quintessential Batman, personally. So that's kind of my Batman stuff. But yeah, thank you for the super chat. And maybe we'll see this series move to Netflix. I think that would be a really good home for it.
That would be cool.
We've got a couple super chats. Before we answer those, we have a picture of Cal doing Cal stuff here. So
hi, Cal.
Someone asked if there was another photo, and I took that the other day because I pulled a carrot out because he likes carrots, and that was the look he gave me. It was like, "Can I have that?"
Man,
please?
I still can remember when he was small enough for you to hold him.
I still hold him, but
no, you don't. He falls on you, maybe.
Weighs about 30 kilos. But
see, I love the background now because it looks like Tyler is just like, I'm so proud to be here with Cal.
Oh, I thought you were talking about that pile of plastic bags.
No. And then you have Barry over there with Grant looking like, hey, I'm gonna go chase.
Shouldn't that crown be on Cal's head?
It should be actually. So all right, okay, so we're gonna go on to the super chats quickly. We have Nathan Bell here with the $8.99 super chat. Sorry about the change of subject. What would you guys think if they brought in the dark multiverse and the omniverse into the superverse? So many verses. Also, how are you guys doing? I'm doing really good. How's everybody else? Is everybody else having a good weekend so far? Or
okay, yeah.
Okay. So, yes, thank you, Thomas, for upgrading to enhanced. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Don't forget, go and add your name to the list in the community.
I thought
tab.
it was enlarged.
What?
He's an enlarged.
Oh, it's just the YouTube one. I was thinking of the OnlyFans. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know about the omniverse, but the dark multiverse would be interesting. But the problem with those concepts on a show where you only really have like one major superhero makes it really difficult to tell that story, because the dark multiverse was heavily influenced by Batman, and it also had a lot of other characters involved in it. I don't know how they would do that with just one show at the moment. If the Arrowverse were still around, I would say yes, Dark Multiverse would be really cool because then you get all of these like dark versions of all of those characters. But I don't know if Superman and Lois as a show is enough to do the Dark Multiverse. Any thoughts on this, guys, at all? Or
no.
Are you tired of the Batman who laughs? Are you over that character?
I just don't like that. I just thought that was just them filling in time because, like, that's the unfortunately with comics nowadays. They just had to keep doing stuff because they have to keep selling comics. So,
did you see there was a new Flash movie tie-in comic?
Yes, I did. I saw that.
Well, that's been just sitting there waiting to come out for like I feel like 7 years.
And they said the weird thing is that it finally got released and the movie's been delayed. So
yeah.
Well, they set the release date and they couldn't change it.
Yeah.
Once they
I was
did
in the comic book shop today. I looked through it and I was like, it's like,
yeah,
it's just funny because the film's never going to come out.
Yeah. So I know Candigraphs doesn't read comics really, so he doesn't really have much of a perspective on this. But Ben, did you ever read anything with the Dark Multiverse or the Omniverse in it at all? Or
yeah, a little bit.
Do you think it would fit with Superman and Lois? Because I can't see how they would do it really. Because we already had the Bizarro storyline. I feel like this would be very similar to like Another Earth with another Superman, and I feel like it would be too similar.
Yeah, maybe down the line, but not right now. Not in the next season after Bizarro, I would say.
Step Up 3 is coming out, or a Step Up series, or something like that.
That could work with the Dark Multiverse.
We had another super chat here. Oh, this is from I just read this from Martin.
Yeah, I saw it already.
Oh, 1999 super chat from Martin. After this topic, can we briefly discuss why Candigraphs was acting like a male Karen to the guy in that video?
Well, do you want some fun behind the scenes? Do you want some fun behind the scenes info? In the original edit of that, it actually said Karen Graphs. That was in the bottom. I changed the StreamYard thing, but it didn't look that great, and it sort of messed with the cropping of it. So I just ditched it. But it said Karen Graphs. And the original one.
Okay, so I want to preface this by saying that this was the video from a couple weeks ago. We're not going to play it again, but this is the video from a couple weeks ago where Candigraphs was. I think it was the top 5. Was it top 10, top 5 after party moments?
5 after party moments.
And there was a random
the
clip
fleshlight incident
because I didn't see the clip before, but I didn't see the top 5 thing before. So there was a clip of Candigraphs, I guess, trying to buy a. Do you want to tell the story? Do you want to say what
now?
So I don't know what countries in the world have them, but I know most countries have 7-Elevens. They're 24-hour convenience store chain. In Vancouver, during the pandemic, most of them closed like not 24 hours anymore, but were closing overnight to cut down staff time. But eventually, some of them started opening back up, and we had 2 out of the 6 downtown were 24 hours. So, if you wanted something late at night, you had to, I have a 7-Eleven 1 minute walk from my house, but I couldn't go to that one because it's closed for 6 hours of the night. So are the next 2 closest. So I went to that one. I get there, lights are on. You can see in the video, there's a staff member in the building. Got the doors closed. There's only 2 of them open downtown, and he's got it closed at the same time all the other ones are closed down. And I'm just knocking on the door. He's not answering. I'm like, what the hell? Like, I can see you working in there. I can actually see you. It's not like you're doing nothing. You're just standing there. So I knock over on the main window where you see the video part of it. And by that time, he's kind of like, what the hell? He's pointing at the door, trying to tell me oh, it's closed. And I'm like, but you're not closed. You're a 24-hour location. If you want to close to do cleaning or whatever, you do that while the other ones are actually open. That way, someone can still go to one. But not this idiot. He's closed at the only time when the rest of them are closed, even though he's a 24-hour location. So I gave him a piece of my mind. Thankfully, I have lots of mind to give. So maybe he's now got an IQ point to use. I don't know. But
the real question is, did you ever follow up on it? That's the question. Did you ever follow
I don't think I did, and I was pretty angry at the time. I'm gonna write a letter to 7-Eleven angry, and I don't think I actually did. So I'm a little cranky about that.
Yeah, I feel
I
like
think if you did that, you would have officially had to change the name to Karen Grass. If you did that,
Karen Grass confirmed.
Yeah. So this video was from a while back then. I thought it was a recent video. So I didn't realize it was from like a while back.
Also,
this was early in the pandemic because you could see I was still like he's still wearing a mask. I'm wearing a mask. Like it was early pandemic stuff. There was like I said for about I don't know 4 to 6 months. None of the stores were open longer than like 18 or 20 hours, and then 2 of them just opened up 24 hours again out of the blue. And I was like, oh, finally, I can get stuff at night because I'm a night shopper. I'm a guy that's out at 1 a.m. to go get things instead of at 7 p.m. So, yeah. And he was like, no, you know what? No, we're not doing that, even though you're being paid to do that.
Do you have 7-Elevens in Australia or?
No, I was going to say the only countries I've seen 7-Eleven in is America, Canada, and they have it in Hong Kong. Nowhere else.
We have here. Well, there's one. That's where I get petrol from.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. There's
like
none
I
in
like
Europe.
when I play. Yeah, I don't actually see many in Europe because from when I play GeoGuessr, I'm everywhere else in the world.
No, there's
but
none. Yeah.
Asia, a few in Africa, and North America and like Mexico, I see them. But yeah, I don't think I've ever seen many in Europe.
No, there's none in Europe. Sorry.
But you've got to have like a 24-hour store equivalent there, right?
We have corner shops, but no shops really 24 hours.
Not a franchise.
We got the Tesco meal deal. That's what we got.
There's Tesco Express that open from like 20 hours a day.
Well, you shop at what was it? Is it M&S? Is that the bougie one?
Marks and Spencer's,
yeah, flexing, yeah, flexi.
So here's a Team Eric member chat from Anthony Belcher. He goes, "CW Wonder Girl should have happened then Gotham Knights." I still wanted to see Wonder Girl, but that ended up being very controversial. Like that comic ended up getting blasted a few months after it came out because of the writing and the creator of the series.
No, it was lucky CW probably didn't do that gig because the comic series I think got. I don't know if it got cancelled literally by DC, but online it sort of got cancelled because
I think the writer was not actually from because wasn't the series based in Brazil?
It was an indigenous Brazil story, and the writer was not from there and wasn't getting like factual information correct.
Right. So yeah, I would have loved to see it, but it seems like it would have been probably a bigger problem than anything else.
Yeah, bigger headache.
Thomas Scotty with the $5 super chat and an enhanced.
Whoa, what was that? Just $1.
$5 super chat.
Do you think if the Gotham Knights game is bad as it looks, will it make the show look even more bad than it already looks? The game has not been well received. I know I've seen some videos on that. And people are saying that the actual combat feels very dated. But I don't think there's any way that I don't know. I don't think there's any way the game and the show cannot be compared because they're literally the same title and which is weird. Paige did a video on this today about Gotham Knights, the show, and apparently they've moved to filming in Atlanta now, and they might be actually reshooting the pilot. Is that?
Well, that's what a couple of connected people have said, but it's not. The issue is that it's been spread on social media and no one's debunked.
Well, they have 100%. They have 100% moved to Atlanta, but I don't know if they're.
By the way, no, you go. Keep going.
Okay, I find it pretty unlikely they would redo the pilot, considering they would have already had like their filming schedule set, and that would mean having to like extend out the end of their filming schedule to fit in that 4 weeks because a pilot takes longer than a regular episode. So
yeah, but I think if there's one show that probably needs to refilm its pilot based off the response to its trailer, it's probably Gotham Knights. But
you're talking about it. You're talking about that response from a trailer. Remember the response Batwoman got from their trailer, and they didn't redo that.
Yeah, because that was based off like one moment in the Batwoman trailer, and everyone knew that as well.
But that's my point. Is it was still poorly received.
Yeah, but for different reasons.
Are you excited about Gotham Knights, Ben?
Ben loves it. By the way, I bought a burger from the fish and chip shop yesterday. It was ass.
Why would you buy a burger from a fish and chip?
Yeah, right.
Because it's a good fish and chip shop. Which usually it's pretty reliable.
Yeah, but why do you
So,
expect the burger to be nice if the fish and chip's nice? Brain power.
Oh no! I got a burger and then I got like a little, you got like a fish cocktail, some calamari rings on the side, a prawn cutlet.
Bad decision. Yeah.
Ben, excited.
Classic PGL.
No, I'm not. The trailer was just really bad. I agree with Paige. If anything should reshoot a pilot, it's Gotham Knights.
Wow.
Father and son finally agree on something.
All right, so here's a question. Do you think they'll redo the entire thing or just reshoot scenes from the pilot?
They might reshoot. They might reshoot a couple of scenes. Like maybe they might commit one day to reshooting a couple of things they think need to improve it, but they're not reshooting a whole. Especially under the new WBD genre of like, we don't want to spend money.
Yeah, it's not worth it for them. They'll cancel it before they reshoot a whole pilot, maybe.
So Dream says the show should be scrapped entirely or destroy the Gotham Knights. Is there a Gotham Knights brand?
I guess there is, because there's two things about it, but it's not like the game's doing that much to lift its notoriety up any bit. So I don't know.
Robert says, do you think Stargirl is suffering from the CW show issue of too much cast instead of acting? Maybe true. I don't think it's too much cast. I think the show is pretty well balanced. The only issue I have is that some of the supporting JSA members aren't getting a lot of screen time, but I think that's more because they've added in Starman this season and they're giving him most of that extra screen time. So
yeah.
All right, next story. Let's get through this here. We've got to talk about the Keanu Reeves sequel for
Constantine,
2005, pretty critically panned Constantine film. I don't think Ben was even born at this point when this movie came out. So
he was born.
I was definitely born.
Okay, so I want to preface this. I did a quick video yesterday because I just did my initial reaction to the story. This is weird for a lot of reasons for me, and I just want to put all those out there before we talk about this. First of all, the movie wasn't a financial like surprise. Like they didn't make a ton of money off of it. The movie cost roughly, I think they said something like 150 million to make, with a 230 million box office internationally. It didn't even make 100 million back in the United States. So this wasn't a huge movie. And this came after Keanu was in The Matrix, which was a huge success. That franchise was a huge success. Even if one of the movies didn't totally make a ton of money back, it still was a huge success as a franchise. And so they were hoping that Constantine would sort of, continue with his box office goldmine status at this point. This is weird to me because David Zaslav came out during the investors meeting and said, we want to focus on the biggest characters. And he listed Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman. All makes sense. If we're talking about the biggest DC characters, if you throw those three names out, I'm like, yeah, I get it. If that's what you're going to do, that makes the most sense. Mm-hmm. Constantine as a brand, it was a failed show on TV, on network television. And Matt Ryan is a great Constantine on a show that just didn't do well. And then comes back on Legends and is arguably one of the best characters on Legends, but still not
Legends
there.
Messes with him.
Right. Exactly. And then Legends started out really strong, and then I don't know where they went with him at that point. They just kind of went downhill with him. But the Constantine movie itself, other than being called Constantine, it's almost a different character. He's almost a different character. He's a psychic. He doesn't use magic. It's basically psychic powers. There is some spell casting, but that's like the core of his character. He's from Los Angeles. He's not from London. He's American. He's not British. His backstory has changed. There's just so many things that are different.
So they went woke back in 2005.
The concept of white people replacing other people in the world, even other white people, is not very uncommon. People want to say that it's not. It's very, very common. So the fact that they would replace a British character with an American character doesn't really shock me.
Well, technically, Keanu Reeves is biracial because I'm pretty sure he's half Japanese or something.
Oh, I don't know. Either way, not the same character, basically. Anthony, the budget and the advertising. That's why I always tack on about half of what the budget is, because that's how much advertising costs. You want to make back your budget plus advertising.
But you got to remember, advertising back then was different. So
it might have been, but they don't release those numbers, so you have to guesstimate what advertising costs.
Maybe you need to siege the Warner Brothers archives.
Maybe.
Tax report.
So thank you for trying to correct me, but I've already done my research on this. But I appreciate you trying to correct me there.
That's all right.
Anytime I hear someone use the term "I've done my own research," I get a different thought.
Well, if you watch my video from yesterday, I actually pulled up all of these numbers, so I already know what the numbers are. I can tell you right now that out of the Matrix trilogy, the second one made the largest amount of money. The first one was the second most box office as far as like generating actual positive revenue back, and then the third movie was kind of a bomb. Matrix Revolutions was not well received in terms of like the box office. But thank you, Anthony. I appreciate it. That's not a dig at you. Thank you for bringing that up. But I've already looked at it.
Sounded like a dig.
Whenever somebody like corrects themselves as being right, it always is going to sound like a dig. Doesn't
sound
matter.
like an all-out attack.
Yeah, all-out attack. But this surprises me to take a 17-year-old franchise and bring it out and say we're going to do this, and then cancel the HBO Max shows, which was a diverse Constantine based in modern times.
Welcome to Top Gun Maverick era.
Another wrong direction.
Well, it doesn't look. They announced a sequel to that movie. Almost like by the time it comes out, it's gonna be like 20 years later. They announced a new Karate Kid movie, which either could be a nostalgia effect or because of Cobra Kai, but it depends if that translates to the theaters. What was the other one? The other nostalgia one they announced?
Warner Brothers?
No, just Warner Brothers is a studio, but they announced like another old movie from like the 80s. It's getting a sequel, or the 90s. I can't remember what it is.
I don't remember what that one is either. I did see the Karate Kid one, but that makes sense because Cobra Kai is doing really well on Netflix. So I'm not really surprised that they.
But yeah, it's all about whether it translates to the theaters or not. And also, like Mr. Miyagi's gone.
I know. But I'm saying like that makes more sense than this because this is completely like there's been literally no push for this at all in any big way. Whereas Karate Kid, at least Cobra Kai shows that there's some interest in that property.
But I think the big thing here is Keanu Reeves.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So Ben, that's the thing though. If Keanu Reeves couldn't pull in money on the Constantine after the Matrix, then how is he going to do it here?
They're probably hoping that with him being relevant again with like the John Wick series and all that stuff. He was relevant
after the Matrix though. That's the thing.
You know what? Fair enough, but they sometimes forget anything that's more than 5 years old. So
I don't know. This really, really did surprise me as well because I was not expecting it because of it wasn't like the most popular film. I know some people like it, but
I thought it was good. I thought it was okay. I didn't have a problem.
No, I'm not talking about like the quality of the film. I'm just saying like it's been a long time, so it's obviously the new people at Warner Brothers have been like, you know what? Keanu Reeves is pretty hot. What has he done for us in the past? Let's do it. And I
love that. I love that reenactment of the conversation that went down the Warner. That's really spot on.
I mean, arguably, John Wick is massive. John Wick is massive, and obviously, they love the success of that series. And I think John Wick is really good as well. I just don't understand if we're trying to connect the dots here. Keanu Reeves makes sense, right? I understand what everybody's saying. The idea of him being like this box office bankable star, it makes sense to me, right? But what doesn't make sense to me is bringing back a character that is like C or D list when you said you want to focus on the big characters. Like that doesn't make any sense to me. Because they're talking about financial risk. Like if you're going to put Keanu Reeves in a movie with like Batman, I'd say, oh, I get it. That makes sense to me. John Constantine, Batman together in a movie. That would be you could do like a whole supernatural thriller with Batman and Constantine together. That would make sense. But to do a sequel to this Constantine movie without any connection to any other massive DC character seems financially risky for the new Warner Brothers Discovery. Not for old Warner Brothers, but for the new Warner Brothers Discovery.
Yeah.
That's my confusion on it. That's all. I do believe that they said a lot of people thought that this was announced because obviously Warner Brothers Discovery is in a tailspin at the moment, and they're getting a lot of bad news, and they believe that this kind of stuff is them once again trying to change the conversation about what's happening with them because of all this news about NBC Universal, which we're going to talk about right after the story. I don't know, Paige, are you excited about this movie? Is this something that you're going to be like going to see like opening night or like? What are you laughing at? So I don't understand what's so funny.
Sorry.
I mean, I can't see what it is. It's a little. It's not funny when we can't laugh at it.
I don't really care about this sequel, but no, Ben. Me and Ben having a
maybe you should share the photo with the class so we can see what the photo is.
I'll show the photo in full thing so you can see. Hold on.
But while you're doing that, what do you think of this movie here, the sequel?
I'll probably go see it, but I don't really care for it too much.
Do you not care for it because you didn't like the first movie, or are you just not a Keanu Reeves fan? All right. Answer this before I pull the picture up because I know you're going to start laughing and you're not going to be able to answer. So,
it's just that like I didn't really care for the one back then, but then again, I think I only watched it back then.
Okay. Here is what Paige was laughing at, so everybody can share in the joy. I feel like a teacher at the class asking to see the notes that you're passing to each other. Here we go.
The thing is that hold on, there's
what is this? This is just creepy.
Oh, what the hell, man?
Hold on.
What is Ben sharing here? Oh, Pagey's a YouTube star.
Yeah, YouTube star. He's a tourist.
Oh, all this information about Pagey. Is this doxing Pagey?
Whoa, that's not. Anyway, this is public information. So he hails from Australia.
Bobby Burns? Who is Bobby Burns?
Wait, is he 29? Really?
Bobby Burns? I don't know. Who is Bobby Burns? I've never heard
29 and you act like this? Wow.
Guys, he's not very popular.
Oh, wow. He's not.
Wait, yeah. What's that ranking again? Like 50,000?
This picture makes me very uncomfortable.
No, that's funny.
Hold on, that's not it. There's one more.
Oh no, is it gonna be me? You're just gonna replace that with my face on it now? I don't even want to know what this is gonna be.
Oh.
See, yeah, I knew that was coming.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Oh.
There you go. What?
Too funny.
All right. Okay, so moving on from that. Somebody said 29 and acts like a child. Wow.
Oh, I'd rather be 29 act like a child than 29 act like we're gonna stick up my ass or something like that. But
okay. So I believe that this news may have been dropped because this came out as well this week. And this is that Warner Brothers Discovery has bigger problems than its DC search. Now, this article is them not being
one thing.
Yeah.
The Hollywood Reporter does do like the good cartoons that they chuck in their articles.
Yeah, you like this funny. With David Zaslav lifting up the
They've done a couple of good David Zaslav ones.
Okay. Yeah, this is funny. We know that there's been this search for a Kevin Feige for DC. And yeah, it's been rough. They lost Dan Lin, who was actually someone that I thought could have done a great job at this because of his track record. And it was all because they did not want to incorporate his production studio into Warner Brothers, which seems like a really weird sticking point. But this article goes through and it kind of outlines everything we know so far about DC and everything that's happened. But here's the thing. It looks like DC could be, or Warner Brothers Discovery could be in kind of big trouble when it comes to the amount of debt they have. It goes, all these issues pale next to the biggest question hovering over any top job at WB Discovery. How long will this gig last? The company is grappling with that heavy debt load and skeptical investors. One former Zaslav exec recently received a letter from a due diligence firm on behalf of an unspecified client asking for an evaluation of Zaslav's leadership style, strategic plans, and the likelihood of success. That could suggest various possibilities: a potential acquirer digging around, a dissident shareholder sniffing for weakness, a hedge fund trying to find a place to bet. So much uncertainty. So this seems like someone on the inside is saying that they were looking for money or some sort of leadership issues within Warner Brothers Discovery. And a lot of this has to do with the fact that David Zaslav has not stimulated investors by saying all of these things. We've seen the stocks be kind of all over the place. We've seen people in Hollywood say they're not going to work with them. We've seen companies pulling away like Legendary. This doesn't look good for them. And it does speak to where they are from a financial perspective and what perspective or what the actual public's perspective is of Warner Brothers Discovery. And I saw something from Dream here. So this is the kind of language that I think doesn't really work here. A hit piece would be if they were creating a story that didn't exist just to discredit someone. This story is based on actual information that they received. So we need to stop using the term hit pieces when somebody releases information that doesn't align with our beliefs in a company or a person. A hit piece would be slandering of the person based on unfactual information. And that's not the case here. So we just need to recognize it. That Hollywood Reporter, I'm not saying they have not done that before. I'm saying in this particular piece, there seems to be information that they've received that they're talking about. All right. Given the company's daunting challenges, it's become accepted wisdom at the highest levels of the industry that another deal waits in the wings for Warner Brothers Discovery. For reasons related to the complicated structure of that merger, no negotiations can happen until April 2024. So we have a while before that can happen. But at that point, many industry observers believe that Comcast Brian Roberts will make a long-awaited move looking to combine NBC Universal and Warner Brothers Discovery. That deal would face some interesting antitrust issues, but would give his company scale and a viable streaming service. Obviously, Peacock sucks, says one exec with knowledge of both companies. I have the Peacock app. It's not very user-friendly, honestly, but it's got good shows on it. There are some good synergies. I'm sure Roberts is licking his chops because the WBD stock is so low. This is another thing in Candigraphs. You've been keeping up with stock as well. You've looked at it.
I'm looking at it right now while you've been reading this.
Right. So low stock means that companies can be purchased. If your stock gets to a certain level, another larger company can put an offer in to buy another company. That is a possibility, even if they're not on the market. So that's very telling. What is their stock at right now?
1274. And in comparison, on January 10th of this year, it was 31.18.
So it still hasn't really recovered from the last month or so.
Oh, it's still going down.
Yeah. Okay. And I think that's Zaslav's end game. So people are suggesting that maybe he wants to sell this, get the place sold. A WBD spokesperson responds, "We're building Warner Brothers Discovery for the long term."
I kind of said this a little while ago after all of the fire sale stuff started happening, that I can see a scenario where he wanted to buy Warner Brothers simply for certain pieces of that content and plan to just sell off the rest down the road. Specifically, he doesn't seem to clearly have any interest in the DC content.
Right.
He may not have an interest in, let's say he doesn't have an interest in HBO Max, but he wants to keep HBO, like stuff like that. Like he wants bits and pieces of the content and sell off the pieces he doesn't want to keep. I think that might be like his agenda here.
So, Paige, what do you think, based on this, if they were to sell it off, do you think that DC would do better at like NBC Universal, or do you think that would be something that Warner Brothers would want to hold on to? I mean, I can't think of anything NBC Universal that synergizes well with DC, but if they take it and they kind of let it do its own thing, that might be better.
What does Universal have?
They have like the Monsterverse or the
Jurassic Park.
Yeah, no. Jurassic Park is.
What is that, Ben?
I forget what they call it. I think it was it. They had a failed.
Oh, the dark universe.
The dark universe. That's what I was looking for. Yeah. So let's see. What's their big things here? Ben, do you know anything off the top of your head from Universal that you think would work well with DC in terms of like movies?
No, but if it merges, that's going to be awkward for Christopher Nolan because he just went to Universal.
That's true.
So he's going to leave again.
Yeah, I'm looking
to get away from you guys.
Universal has a lot of interesting films and series or whatever, but nothing that really works well with Ben. Yeah, I think Jurassic Park is the only one, really, the biggest one.
Oh no, Too Fast, Too Furious, Tokyo Drift.
Maybe.
Oh yeah.
The only upside to that is they might be willing to invest in something like DC that.
Oh, they do have Illumination, so Minions DC crossover.
Maybe.
Yes, let's go.
Anyway, to wrap this up, it goes, many top industry execs are so convinced the deal will happen that some pre-morning an event that may never happen. People feel like it's Comcast for sure, says the head of the company. It's going to be so depressing to lose another major studio after Disney bought Fox. There's a lot of people that didn't like that. And Warner's was the Tiffany studio, which is now purchased by Discovery.
So the deal here is that they just absorb all the Warner Brothers stuff and Warner Brothers would cease to exist.
Okay, yeah. So basically what this means is, I'm not going to read this last paragraph, but basically that's talking a little bit about this here. So what would happen is if this were to happen, it would be very similar to what Discovery did to Warner Brothers. Like Discovery came in, there was a merger, but then all of a sudden Discovery was steamrolling Warner Brothers because they were the controlling company in that. The same thing would happen with NBC Universal if Warner Brothers Discovery stock continues to go down. Like they would come in and they would be the controlling party in that merger because they would be buying out Warner Brothers Discovery. So the word merger in this sense is a merger / buyout.
You should have done like the Dr. Evil merger. Mojo.
Stagger with the if this merger happens, expect Fast 12 and The Flash and the Furious.
Ben, you're getting too creative on Paint or Photoshop or whatever it is you're using.
No, it's great. It's great. It's great.
Yeah.
Actually, honestly, look pretty good.
Yeah, you do.
Oh,
what about this one?
No, that was.
What's going on with my shoulders? My doomsday or something? What's going on?
So before we get to the quiz, we are going to go over Canada Graph's updated blog here, which has pictures. And I'm going to ask him which ones we should be looking at as we go through these. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about the scenes as we go through this. So this is Canada Graph's blog. I will post the link to this in the description box after we're done with the stream. But if you want to go look at it now, I believe he's posted it on his Twitter. So you can go to his Twitter and follow the link over there if you want to read along with us. All right. So some of these pictures were ones that you already had posted, correct? Like these were ones from.
No, these are the ones. I mean, they were posted on Patreon, but they weren't posted publicly.
Oh, okay. All right.
This is the set from the one with Superman's new suit from 2 days ago or 3 days ago. I forgot which day is which now.
Yeah. So we've seen the suit quite a bit already, but I do want to pull up a photo. I guess.
Yeah, the two down there that are just of the logo is the one I was saying. Like you can see the detail.
Yeah. Okay, so here we go. This is the one where you can actually see. Wow, that's a great shot. You can see how it is raised up off of the actual suit.
You raise me up.
No copyright shit. Come on now.
Mountains.
So
sing it, Ben.
I will say this: some people are not a fan of the yellow in it. I don't know if I like the shading in the yellow, or if it should have just been a solid yellow. What do y'all think? Thoughts on this here?
I don't mind it, but it would be cool if it was more yellow.
I mean, I don't really care.
Like that doesn't matter to you.
I mean, it looks fine. I think it's fine. Like you never know what it's going to look like in the actual show as well.
Yeah, I like that it's a definite, like definitive raised emblem on the chest. I think that makes it look a little bit more.
Well, yeah. To be honest, TBH, season 1 and 2 had a suit like this. It's just that they constantly use the one where it's like the fabric material. It always looked weird when it was flying, like it always creased.
Do you think they'll still do that with the flying suit?
So they might still do that because this scene was just him standing there, and they already had a suit like that for standing there, which had a raised or had like a planted on thing. It wasn't the same material. This one just looks more raised.
Yeah.
So my only question is like, are they going to do another suit where it's that material? Like where it's like it looks like a muscle t-shirt.
Cameragraphs, did you get a new camera?
No.
This is a really good shot.
We're just that close to the set.
Oh, okay. So I guess when people complain, you're like far, far away from the set.
Yeah, like I get that all the time. People are like, oh, potato quality. And I'm like, dude, I'm 2 football fields away from it. You know? On this day, I could have like taken something out of my pocket, thrown it, and hit him in the head with it. Like
it seems like there were a lot of people around the set.
There was an insane. This is the largest set I had seen for amount of people that stopped to watch in 3 or 4 years at like any show.
Really?
Wow.
It was just I think a perfect storm of it being downtown, no one's seen filming in a while, and it being Superman, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't you fight with a security guard or something?
Did I?
No, the 7-Eleven worker finished his shift.
Oh,
the 7-Eleven dude finished his shift and ran into him on the street.
No arguments with the security this day, but I did have the crew following me around for a while to try and block me from seeing what they were going to film out in public with all day.
Yeah.
So did they by any chance work at 7-Eleven? Just asking.
We'll use this one and I think one more photo, and then if you guys want to see the rest, you can go and check out his blog. But one thing I want to say about this suit is I like that they've taken the lining out, the lines that go into the suit, the kind of like angular lines that come down the legs and on the chest and the arms, because that feels very, very comic book to me, which I really like. And the boots are different as well. He's had like 4 different pairs of boots now on the show between.
Well, you know what they say.
And so
you know what they say, Eric.
What do they say?
Those boots are made for walking.
Oh my gosh!
I thought he was gonna sing it. I really thought he was gonna sing it.
No, that's not my job. That's Jessica Simpson's job. She can rock it. Moist. I don't know if it has been moist. Could have you bricked though, but I don't think it'd have you moist. But anyway.
I want to know, what does everybody rank this suit on a scale of 1 to 10? Leave it in the comments while we look at this other photo here.
Leave it in the comments.
Leave it in the comments, bro. I want to do a picture of. Is there a picture of him with the new Jonathan in here somewhere?
That's in the other blog. The next one down.
We won't do that one then. I do want a picture of him with what is it, Atom Man here. We'll do this one.
Atom Man. Oh, he's had to get.
I noticed he actually has the SS symbol on his chest, like from Elseworlds.
Yeah,
it's basically
he did in season 1 too.
Oh, did he? I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
We are the Nazis.
One thing we talked about in Ben's stream is that the cape on the back, it looks like where that seam is where they detach it for scenes.
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned that when you guys were in the stream. I mentioned that I looked back at my old photos. Season 1 is definitely different. Season 2 and season 3 have this pattern that they're using now.
Do you think it's magnetic? Is that the probably the way it attaches, or like I wonder?
I think it's probably a clip. I think it's probably a clip underneath that you can't like on the back side.
So under the back piece that goes up here, like the bottom half,
Because I can't imagine like a magnet or anything like that being reliable in scene where it might just like, you catch it with your foot and pull it off.
Wow, a 2 from Anthony Beltry here.
People are allowed to be wrong.
A 2? What?
Yeah, so we gave it a 2. Anthony gave it a 2.
Anthony, I think something's up.
So Dream here, I've addressed this before. The reason why the padding exists is because when you're filming during the cold months, and this is why Stephen Amell had the sleeves put back into his aero suit, is it gets cold when you're filming up there.
It's Canada.
So you're not going to get a spandex like bodysuit. That's not what people are going to wear in Canada.
Majority of our filming is in the fall and winter in Canada. And Vancouver might be the mildest part of Canada, but it's still Canada.
Yeah. So the padding exists not just to define the characters like features, but it's also for like to keep them warm. So there's that. So, but anyway, I'll post the links to this in the description box. You can go over to Canadagraph's blog and check it out. I love the new suit. I think it's very cool. And there are pictures of the new Jonathan on his blog as well. So you can go over and check that out. So, but from what you saw on set, does he look anything like Jordan Elsass, or is it?
I'd say about a 75% like the same. Like obviously the facial features are where you're going to have the most problem because he's not Jordan Elsass.
Right.
But it's doable. Like you can look at it, like a lot of people have said, he looks closer to Alex Garfin than he does Jordan Elsass.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that works well when you're talking about, supposedly being twins.
Mm.
I also find his hair isn't nearly as curly even after whatever work they did to make it, on screen ready.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like Jordan's was curly, and his is more like somewhere between wavy and curly.
Mm. All right, so that's where we're going to wrap up that. You guys can keep asking questions if you'd like. It's time for the battle of Ben versus Canada Graphs, I think. So
Okay, Eric smells very bad.
Yeah.
I had the coin flip up as per usual, so because Ben shut off for the first time.
Wait, hold on. We got super chats. Let's go through the super chats first before we do this.
Oh,
no! No, hold on. I just saw now we have super chats. All right. This is a serious question. Yeah, I just realized they scrolled up past the screen. Martin here with a 1999 super chat. Serious question, and I'm curious to see what you guys have to say, including the chat. Are you guys sure you really want to see Cobalt Blue, more specifically as Cobalt Blue as Eddie Thawne? Personally, I think this is a bad idea. Let me tell you why. One of my biggest gripes is Eric Wallace and the tradition that he has and has been doing since season 6, which is redeeming villains. It started with Grodd, then Eva, then Abracadabra. Oh, there's more. Okay. All right. The Speed Force, as well as other forces, if they have this emotional connection between the hero and the villain, which they'll most likely have, and it's remotely similar to what happened in season 1 by the end of that arc. Okay, so we're still talking about Cobalt Blue. Trying to remember here. And then wrap it up. Oh, $49.99 super chat. Thank you so much, Martin. I appreciate all the super chats. By the end of that arc, they'll have either Barry or Iris or both talk down Eddie. And I know, as most of you probably are saying, that's a bad idea. They wouldn't do that. And I agree, but I wouldn't put anything past Eric Wallace and his bad execution. Okay, so we'll leave this up on the screen. I'm going to drop this down for just a moment while we answer this. So the question is, do we really want Eric Wallace to do a story like Cobalt Blue as the final story because he'll try to redeem the character by the end of the season, which he's done that with all these other characters. Do we want a redemption story for a character like Cobalt Blue in the final season? Would we rather him focus on just wrapping up other storylines from The Flash? Like, what are your thoughts on this? Then I'll give my thoughts. We can go through and let everybody answer.
No, he has to do a new story. Like, if he was just going back on old stuff, that's just boring.
So you're saying
a final season?
Yeah.
For a final season, I feel like a final season has to be exciting, right? So you got to introduce like a new villain, and I think Cobalt Blue's good. Yes, I agree. Maybe it shouldn't redeem him if he is like a full-on villain. Again, they don't need to go comic accurate. It can be whatever they want. But I would say new story is always better.
Okay. Canada Graphs, any issues with the way they've handled villains over the last few seasons?
Yeah, they do go a little soft on them, let's be honest. Has Barry ever just ended a villain? Like, not necessarily killed him, but just ended him? He's never going to do any villainous stuff ever again. Locked up, we're never going to see him again.
No.
Let alone, like, even killing one, but just, like, stopping him permanently and not being like, you know what, you could be a nice guy. Like, we're 8 seasons through this show.
Well,
and
he's got
everything pre-crisis has changed. We have no idea how those stories play out.
Oh yeah, fair enough. I forgot. Pre-crisis, Barry could have went and like murdered everyone. Now, like, do I think it's a good idea? Yes, only for the reason of there is a notable portion of the fan base that has wanted this, and if the show ended without it happening, people would always do the what if.
Well, this and Red Death, those are the two that people have wanted since
been
dropped.
So I think you have to simply to avoid the what ifs that would go on after the show ended.
Right.
You know, if you do it badly, great. Then people can at least say, well, they tried it. You know.
So a lot of
But if
people
you
are saying
don't do
are
it-
using Welzabard as an example of someone that he did kind of lock away and took his powers away, like Welzabard, the original, like the one before he was reborn from previously.
Okay, all right.
From Armageddon. But the thing was that we knew Welzabard was coming back. That's one of the characters where we knew he would be back eventually. Like he's not going to leave him locked up down there. So I understand what they're saying, but I knew that. What about you, Paigey? Do you think would Eric Wallace do a bad job with Cobalt Blue, or do you think this is the storyline we're going to get for the final season?
I have no idea. It's like the only answer to this is wait and see.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
I would say for me, I've had an issue with the way villains have been handled for the last few seasons. So I would somewhat agree that I am a little worried, only because I think the biggest problem that I've had with the show in terms of villains was the Mirror Master, Mirror Mistress storyline, because that character did so much stuff and then literally was let go. Like at the end of that episode, they're like, oh, you're too powerful. Since we can't stop you, we're just going to let you go and hope that you never come back and do any awful shit to the city again. That was
the
the big
Arrowverse
one
as
for
a
me.
whole, though, has had a problem with this. Like, Batwoman just let Poison Ivy go off to be with Renee. Like, they just see villains and they're just kind of like, you know what? I think they learned their lesson.
I actually think they hope that they can bring them back at some point. That's
Yeah.
what I think.
Of course
they're doing.
of course they do. But I mean, the Flash now, you know your ending. You have no excuse now.
Yeah. So I think for me, would you have to?
I was just going to say they were quite harsh on the Supergirl villains.
They
Half of
were.
them died.
Supergirl actually did some.
Yeah.
Supergirl did. So, I guess a W for Supergirl in that one.
I guess, you know, if no one watches the show, how would you know, right?
Yeah. Early seasons of Arrow, like he was very vicious in the beginning.
Yeah, but he softened in later years.
Yeah. I will say that I think they need to do, like, pretty much everybody assumes they have to do Cobalt Blue and Red Death. Those are the characters everybody's waiting for. So we'll have to see which one they choose, if they choose either of them. But I think it would be a big problem of what if. We have a super chat related to Photoshop. So here goes for Flash Freak, $5 super chat. For you who use Photoshop, does it make you turn your PC off and on again? My PC has been doing that. It happens when I'm on Photoshop selecting an object. No.
I think your program's glitchy.
Yeah, that's definitely not normal for Photoshop. I don't know. Do you use Photoshop Canada Graphs or no?
I have never used it yet.
I use it all the time.
Oh, I don't know. I've never had to do that. Paige uses another program, I'm pretty sure. Right?
Yeah, I think his is MS Paint.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. There you go. Make sure. Am I missing another? Is there another super chat here?
I think you're caught up, but there was a member question.
Yeah, it was from
comment.
Crazy Cat Lady. Yeah. She couldn't stay because she's going to Disneyland. Or Crazy Cat Lady.
Besides that, I think that's it. I think you're caught up.
Have fun at Disney. I know you will, but I totally get it. You can watch everything on playback. That's fine. I don't want you to give up Disney for us because it's really not. It's not that important.
Can't have Disney not getting paid.
Yeah. So all right, yeah, because Shill.
Yeah,
Look, I'm wearing my Shill gear today. So
Shill gear.
All right, so here's a quiz. Make sure Canada Graphs and Ben does not cheat by looking at the chat.
Yeah,
mine's full.
Okay, I got the coin flip. I got the coin flip up. Ben, you've first time in 27 years, so you can pick heads or tails.
Heads.
It's flipped. It is. Oh fuck! It disappeared from it. It's heads. Yeah, it is. Okay. So as per usual, 5 categories. Whoever Ben gets to go first. Whoever goes second, give an answer as well. If the first person's wrong, they get the points as well. They get the points.
I want the chat to take bets on who's going to win this. I'm curious to see what they think.
Come on. It's going to be me.
It might be. I can see the category names, and 2 of them I know nothing about.
Let's go.
So we got Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, Dick or DC, and Marvel.
Okay, I'm gonna do an Eric tactic here. I'm gonna go for the one that maybe I know least about.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that all of them?
Lord of the Rings.
Oh, by the way, you have a lifeline each. Eric is your lifeline.
Okay.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to give you 2 each. You get 2 each.
Okay.
So you get 2. If you don't know an answer to a question, you can ask Eric. Now,
And
Eric can't give hints that he.
Hold on one second. I just looked at the contestants playing. Where's this other contestant? Where's this Karen person that's supposed to be playing?
Oh, it's shortened from Karen Graphs. I thought it'd be as a fit. So,
okay.
but Eric
I
can't
am going to protest until the name is changed.
Okay, well, Eric can't hint that he knows the answer.
Right.
Okay.
Actually, I'm going to mute my microphone until I give an answer, so that way I can't.
Well, I don't know. Do you make expletive noise like or something when you know?
No. I mean, if somebody says me as a lifeline, I will mute my mic until I give an answer. So.
Oh, okay. I get what you mean. You mean. Okay, so we know the rules. What are you going for, Ben?
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings. This is just the movies, not anything.
Mhm.
In the Fellowship of the Ring, what color is Gandalf associated with?
See, this is where I'm doing the Eric tactic. I haven't watched these films since I was like 10. So
If you haven't yet, put it on private. If you haven't yet, put it on private chat.
Is he doing a lifeline already? Did you say?
No.
Okay,
I'm not asking.
I would recommend not doing it too early. For only 100 points.
I'm gonna take a random guess. Gold.
3 Canada Graphs or Karen?
Blue.
Gandalf the Grey.
I don't know why.
He literally wears a grey outfit,
something.
has grey hair, a grey beard. It's Gandalf.
I was
the
actually
Grey.
shocked that neither one of you got that one, to be honest.
I've never watched a single second of Lord of the Rings in my life, so.
Okay, well, this will be fun. Canada Graphs, you'll go.
What are they? Game of Thrones.
What is the name of the continent on which most of the action of Game of Thrones takes place?
There's a continent name. Fuck.
5.
The only name anything I can think of right now is Westeros, so I'm going with that, even though I think that's not it.
Ben?
Westeros.
Mm-hmm.
Boo.
Westeros.
Why did you say that? Kind
Oh, thank goodness.
I've not said
Ben, you'll go.
that. Let's go Game of Thrones again, because why not?
Who is King of Westeros when the series begins?
What was his name? It was Jon Snow's dad.
5, 4, 3,
What's his name?
2,
Jon
1.
Snow's dad. I don't know what his name is.
Jon Snow's dad. Canada Graphs?
Is it Ned?
Oh, damn. Yeah.
What is that the right answer, Ben?
Ned Stark.
That is the right
I actually don't know if it is the right answer because I didn't. Yeah, see, I didn't think he was right, but I also wouldn't have come up with that name.
He worked for the king. Yeah.
Yeah, I knew you were probably wrong, but I couldn't think of the name either.
Canada Graphs, you'll go.
Game of Thrones.
According to Ygritte, I can't remember how you pronounce the name.
Nothing.
What does Jon Snow know?
Nothing.
Ben?
Jon Snow.
You know nothing, Jon Snow. You know nothing. You know nothing, Jon Snow.
Jon Snow.
Ben, you'll go. Go, getting Ben. Saving Harry Potter for last, Ben?
Yeah.
Expert category. What is the name of Daenerys' older brother that was killed by Khal Drogo via molten gold being poured over his head?
I remember the scene, but what's his name? Oh my god. I'm so bad. My memory is like an egg.
The issue with the Targaryen stuff is that all their names sound the same.
Yeah. Daenerys Targaryen's older brother.
3.
Targaryen. I don't know.
Canada Graphs.
Isn't it Various?
Various? Close. Viserys.
I ain't got it wrong. Cool.
Canada Graphs, you'll go.
Game.
What?
Game of Thrones.
Oh, Game of Thrones. What is the name of Arya Stark's sword?
Needle. Is it just Needle?
Ben?
Yeah, I was thinking the same. That's what.
Needle.
Yeah.
Ben.
I was trying to think if there was another word beside it.
Okay, I gotta get some points here.
Ben, you'll go.
All right, I'm going DC. I need some points. I'm losing here.
What name is Captain Marvel also sometimes known by?
Shazam.
Canada Graphs?
Or Billy Batson.
3,
Shazam.
2, 1.
Yeah, I would have said the same thing, but that, I mean, doesn't get me any points, so I don't know.
Shazam. Ben,
I was trying to think of something else.
Needed a point.
Canada Graphs, you'll go.
DC.
God damn.
What is the spiciest food in the DC universe?
What?
I have no idea. Is that? Can you give any clue?
A flaming
5.
hot Cheeto. I don't know.
Something
10.
from Big Belly Burger. Big Belly Burger burger.
Big Belly Burger.
Yeah.
Green Arrow's chili.
My
Ben, you'll go.
Let's go Marvel.
Ooh. What color skin did the Hulk originally have?
Wait, are you talking about actual Hulk or like Bruce?
When he's Hulk.
Okay. In the comics, right?
Yes. No, in some weird mobile game.
Well,
5.
I'm just
4.
gonna say green, or is it yellow? Green.
3. Canada Grass.
Gray?
It is grey.
What? How did you get that?
Because I knew it couldn't be a ridiculous color, because green's already ridiculous, so I thought it had to be something more basic.
Nah. Does he have the
Canada Grass?
Oh, I don't know if he does or not. I'm not even reading this.
Well, hopefully he doesn't.
I can show you I don't.
Fair.
Where am I? DC.
Who was the dying alien that handed Hal Jordan the power ring upon his spaceship crash landing on Earth?
Ben.
Ben, what is your answer?
I mean, it's either between Magog and DJ Eric. I can't decide.
DJ Eric is a good guess, but
Yeah.
it's not. It's Abin Sir.
I have such a
Ben, you'll go.
let's go DC.
On which Earth does the crime syndicate exist?
Earth 3.
Canada Graphs?
He said that with such confidence that he's probably right. But I'll say 12.
It is 3.
Yeah.
Because
Ben.
I read the comics. Yes.
Slim's the lead. Canada Graphs, you'll go.
Reading is cheating. DC.
What is Clark Kent's middle name?
Trouble.
Ben.
What's the most like middle American name? Eric would guess this. I know it. Can I get a lifeline for Eric?
You can get it off Eric if you want.
Eric. Go.
Joseph.
Eric. So you gonna lock in Eric's answer of Joseph?
Yeah. Lock it in.
Joseph.
Oh,
And ties the scores.
best question. Thank you, Eric.
Ben, you'll go as well. You get
Okay. Let's go Harry Potter.
Harry
Harry
Potter.
Potter for 100. Yeah.
Name the 4 Hogwarts houses.
Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, Gryffindor, and Slytherin. Where is my wand?
You gonna retaliate, Canada Grass? With any?
I need a wand.
I'm embarrassed that he knows this, if that's true.
Well, there's a reason I was aiming for 100 points because it's pretty easy. Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, and a Slytherin, as they say in France.
I
am embarrassed for you.
Canada Graphs, you'll go.
Marvel.
What was Thor's secret identity?
Is a secret identity?
It's an Easter egg in the first movie. But in the comics, it's
No clue. Bob.
Benjamin.
Hmm.
3, 2,
His name was Jeffrey.
1. Epstein? No. Dr. Donald Blake. Benjamin, your go.
Let's go Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Who was the Half-Blood Prince?
Wait. Okay. Draco Malfoy. No. Take it back. There we go.
I think his answer already came out.
I have to. You said the full thing. I have to. That's it. You can't.
Okay,
so
okay.
Canada Grass. What's your
The good news for Ben. The good news for Ben is I am no idea what this is.
3,
So
2,
I'm gonna go with
1.
Prince William.
I think the Half-Blood Prince would be Harry because I think Megan sucked out half of it. Snape.
No, I was about to say Snape. That's
But you didn't.
I knew you got the. I knew what you're probably thinking about the book and the movie, and you mixed it up. Yeah, Snape is the Half-Blood Prince. Canada Grass, your go.
Marvel.
I'm disappointed in myself.
What is Bruce Banner's alternative name in the Hulk TV series?
The Incredible Hulk.
Ben.
His or the Hulk's, or you're not allowed to say that.
What is Bruce Banner's alternative name in the Hulk TV series? 3, 2,
Bruce Wayne.
1.
David.
Yeah, Eric was. You should have looked up at Eric. Eric was fucking freaking out. He knew the answer. Ben, you'll go.
Let's go Marvel.
Which Will Smith movie is owned by Marvel?
One that's already come out, right?
Yes.
Will Smith. Marvel. I don't know.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I don't know.
Canada Grass. Hitch.
Only one I can think of that it could possibly be is Hancock.
Okay. Well, the answer is Here Comes the Man in Black.
Marvel? How the fuck is that Marvel related?
It was based on a comic book.
Yeah.
That's on the
Oh,
comic book.
all right.
Sing
Marvel.
it, Eric. What is the name of the little boy Tony befriends while stranded in Iron Man 3?
Timmy.
Timmy. Ben?
I know it's not my question, but am I allowed to ask Eric?
Yeah, you can.
That's what you did before,
Okay,
right?
I'm asking Eric.
Yeah.
His name is Harley. Harley. Oh gosh. Harley.
I have no idea if it's
Harley
I know
Keener.
there's a last name.
Harley.
or not.
Harley. I think it's Harley Keener. I don't know.
Are you locking in Eric's
Yeah, well, let's lock
answer
that
of
in.
Harley?
I think that's right.
Harley.
Oh well, I didn't need the last name. So yeah, the first name was Harley.
Canada
But you
Grass-
have no more lifelines now. Canada Grass has he's 2 left. So
But
you've
I got
used
it into
you've
the
used
Marvel
both
one.
yeah.
Eric is the Marvel
but-
guy. He's a show.
Ben, you'll go.
T-shirt.
My strategy for Canada Grass will probably leave until Lord of the Rings, probably for Eric, because I don't know how good he'll be at Harry Potter.
All right.
But anyway, Ben, you'll go.
Let's go Lord of the Rings.
Oh, strategy. Where was the One Ring forged?
In the Eye of Sauron. I don't know.
Canada Grass?
don't.
Sydney, Australia.
Potentially, but it was
Let's see in real life.
in the fires of Mount Doom.
I knew
Mount
the
Doom.
mountain, but I couldn't
Mordor.
think of the name. Yeah, Mordor. Okay.
Canada Grass, you'll go.
Lord of the Rings.
Who ends up finding the ring after Isildur is killed?
I will be phoning a friend, Mr. Eric.
Eric, you are ring, 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 ring.
I'm doing work over here.
Hello.
Doesn't want to help. Hang up the phone, Eric.
I don't know if I'm right on this, but I'm going to say Gollum.
I was going to say Gollum.
All right. I guess that's what I'm going with.
Yeah. Gollum / Smeagol. Yeah.
I so knew that. It was so easy.
Well, actually, technically,
it was Smeagol.
Technically, the answer is his brother, but he kills him straight after.
Okay.
So he's the one that properly possesses the ring. So, but I wrote Gollum / Smeagol because everyone always forgets the part where his brother finds it for the most part.
So technically, you're wrong.
Ooh.
Well, no, because he goes on to actually possess it.
No, but you wrote finding.
Well, no, I wrote this assuming you'd get it wrong, so this was handing out the correct answer.
Okay.
So this was me being very sympathetic.
Fair
Right. Ben still leads by 300, so Ben,
Wait.
you'll go.
Let's go Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
What does it mean to be a parcel mouth or a parcel tongue?
You can speak to snakes.
Canada graphs?
You're related to Ben?
No, I think that's just called being British. It means you speak parcel tongue, you can speak to snakes. I know why I included that because parcel mouth, parcel tongue is the same thing. But anyway, I did that. Canada graphs, you'll go.
Harry Potter.
Oh no.
What are the 3 forbidden curses?
Being Ben. Being Paigey. Being Warstu.
I think that's wrong, but Ben,
Wait.
do you know the answer?
Avada Kedavra, Crucio, and
Wow.
Oh, what's the last one? Wait.
3, 2.
I can't believe he's gonna choke.
I don't know.
One.
I don't know the last one. I forgot. This is embarrassing.
Imperial
Tragic.
or Imperious?
Tragic.
Damn, I got 2. I should get half point. No, it's okay.
No handouts here, young Benjamin.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's your go now. What are you picking?
Let's go Harry Potter for 500.
What do you say to close the Marauders map?
Mischief managed.
Canada graphs.
Ben is bad at this.
Mischief managed.
Oh,
Ben.
so close.
What am I, a Harry Potter nerd? Or am I just English?
Well, I know
Yes.
you got a couple of questions wrong. So Canada graphs, you'll go.
Harry
Well,
Potter.
I don't have a choice.
That is true. What is the name of the creature that Gandalf fights in the mines of Moria?
Ring, ring. Eric, line
Ding,
1.
ding, ding.
I was muted. Sorry. I'm typing to the chat here. I don't remember if it had a name, but I know that they're called Balrogs. So I think that's right. Balrogs.
You gotta lock in Balrog.
I think I don't know if that one had a specific name, but I do think that's what the creatures are called.
I think it's called War Stews. I don't know. I can't think. Yeah.
I would be scared if that approached me in the mines of Moria as well, Ben, but I think the answer is Balrog.
Balrog.
Okay, and the final question. Should we do double points to make it final question?
No. What the?
What difference does it make? Whoever wins this question wins one way or the other because it's not tied.
Oh, Benjamin.
No one's gonna get this one right. Anyway.
Well, let's see.
Yeah, we're
doing
both out of lifelines.
no lifelines. Are you that confident that Canada Grass won't get it right, Ben?
Okay,
that you can do double points.
Go.
Okay, double points. How many people make up the Fellowship of the Ring?
Oh shit! How many characters is there?
Now it's saucy because you can just guess a number.
Okay, I'm gonna guess.
5. 4,
I'm gonna guess 10.
3. Catagraphs.
Is this an over/under? Like whoever gets closer wins?
No, exact number. 3.
12.
2. 9.
Oh, so I was closest.
You're close. Aragorn, Gimli, Gandalf, Boromir, Legolas, Frodo, Samwise, Merry, and Pippin.
It's a big W. Get right.
All right.
I think this is the first legitimate quiz Ben won without any stupid true or false answers.
Oh.
Well, it's not a legitimate quiz because Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter are trash. So.
Came in clutch. Let's go. Honestly, that's.
But have you watched? By the way, Eric, have you watched the latest episode of Rings of Power?
Yes, I have.
Did you like what they set up?
Yes, I did. I am a little sad that we didn't see one entire group of people for the whole episode because they kind of left them.
I'm assuming it's because that dude's mystery without spoiling stuff isn't overly going to be drawn out. I think we'll find out pretty soon what he is or who he is. Everyone thinks he's Sauron. I don't think he's Sauron at all. But anyway,
right.
I have one more question.
Oh.
Are we gonna have a Karen Graff's incident after this?
He's never gonna get rid of that name now. Like this is.
I'm unfollowing Ben now. So.
Oh.
And since he's not on Screen Rant, he's got nowhere to write an expose on me.
Oh, Ben, do you want to talk about that? You're no longer with Screen Rant, so.
Don't worry, Ben trash talked him in the DM, so he doesn't.
Oh,
need to
okay.
hear him.
All right.
Do it on the stream. We already
So
saw it.
Ben got the win. I think the next quiz we do, I should go against like somebody, so we could do like maybe a 3 or 4 person battle.
Yes.
So there's no lifelines. People will just have to be smart or not be smart. I guess
you need to have a entire chat where it's just one versus the other versus the other versus the other until there's one left.
A round robin tournament.
Yeah.
I must say, on House of the Dragon, I was curious about the lack of nudity, and then this week's episode went, "We're sorry, here it is. I'm sorry that you missed out on it, and we'll go pretty much completely X-rated as well."
Yeah. All right, so I have some updates. The Big L.
Oh,
the first episode.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Eric's talking about his podcast, not what Canada Grass just took.
Okay. The Big L podcast will be official. It'll debut at the first Monday of next month. So the first Monday of October will be the first episode of the Big L.
2 weeks from now.
Yes.
3 Mondays from now.
Now, the Big L will be me going through all of the worst stories on the internet and talking about the hottest topics that we cannot talk about on YouTube because YouTube is way too restrictive.
Oh, so wait, are you doing? Oh, not me, I might not be there. But are you doing it on Twitch?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, you're doing it on Twitch. Okay.
Yeah, it'll be on Twitch. Now, the Big L will be exclusive to Twitch, and I will stream there. The Big L will be on Mondays, and then I will do 2 other streams on Twitch during the week to try and fit that criteria to sort of
get affiliate.
Yeah. But those other streams won't be like planned shows. I may just go live randomly, like, chatting with you guys or playing a game or something like that. But it's just to get the affiliate going over there. Then the Big L will be the main show on Twitch. But yeah, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, are you gonna do the thing I suggested that you do, where you upload the video to say, "Yo, rats"?
Yeah. So I will talk about it over here on YouTube. Like I'll upload a video about it over here, and I will take clips from the Big L and make them into videos throughout the week on YouTube, so I can edit out anything that YouTube would be like upset about. So, yeah. There we go. The other thing is, I'm going to be doing a new YouTube podcast. Which, by the way, I'm going to see if I can put the branding up here. Maybe possibly, where's it at? And it will be this.
Fans be better. Fans
Be Better Fans is the title of the.
Oh, okay. I thought it was that was literally the title. Fans be better fans, be better fans.
Yeah. That's just the writing at the top. Anyway, and the way that's going to work is it will be about like all of the controversial stuff that sort of bleeds over into what we do, like over here. Because I talked about it earlier in the stream tonight about the She-Hulk stuff. I kind of want to cover that kind of content, but not have it overlap with what we're doing over here or in my normal videos. So that's going to be a podcast, and it will be yeah, go ahead.
From what I've heard, it's meant to be anti-geeks and gamers. Is that rumor true?
No. It's not going to be anti anything. It's going to be like, what can we do as fans of shows to sort of address a lot of the toxicity in the community? But I'm not targeting like anybody's content. It's just about in general, like the negativity about everything and how it happens, and like break down a lot of the stuff that's said about some of the like the MCU being female dominated or things like that. Like those are the kind of topics we'll cover, but it'll be done in a way where you break it down. I'm not going to be pulling up like people's content and like, going after anybody. That's not what it's going to be. But it will be a way to like sort of just kind of express our feelings about, just things in general. But it's going to be, I'm hoping to start it this week, but if I don't, it'll start next week. And we will have pictures of Cal and kitty cats and stuff like that to help to make things better in the world. But no, really, it will be like a breakdown discussion of like, those kinds of topics. Whereas the big L is going to be like, I don't even want to talk about, like the big L is going to be like, if you send me a link to a video on YouTube that we can laugh about, I just pull it up and watch it, because it doesn't matter about copyright music and stuff on Twitch. So there we go. Anyway, yeah. The drama alert stuff is going to be the Twitch stuff. Like, if you want to hear that kind of stuff, that'll be on the Twitch stuff. I'm not going to do that over here on YouTube because YouTube is way too strict. So,
I wish we were. I wish Arabe's drama alert did happen. Eric would have been 1 million subs if he did it.
I saw Keemstar in real life the other day.
Oh gosh, here we go.
What did you do? Did you yell at Eric?
Yeah, he was. I was like, I saw him and I was like, Is that
oh,
Eric?
Shit, that's Eric.
Yeah.
Eric?
So
we're in the sun. Why we're in the sun?
Yeah.
There's no sun in England.
So Defunct, I'm not trying to stop it. It's no cause to stop anything. The whole point of that podcast is to discuss.
That's why it's such a good idea, because it never ends. So you always have something to talk about.
Yeah, that's true. No, we're not. I'm not on a mission to stop it. You can't stop people from saying awful things. And I've been I've said that for years.
Well,
like,
how about
do that? So
how about you treat it like you're Frodo, and you're with your fellowship, and the ring is justice, or just a calm society on the interwebs.
Yes, I know it can happen on Twitch, but Twitch doesn't stop you from talking about like certain topics. Usually, you can talk about more topics broadly without getting in trouble.
You can, and it's a bit easier with like you can sit there and watch YouTube videos and stuff, and because it's crossed over, it doesn't get flagged.
Right.
And also the thing is, you can play music and stuff like that freely. You just got to delete the video on demand or make it private. So Eric would just download it and then delete it.
Yeah. So anything that I do on Twitch, I want you guys to show up, because obviously I want people to come over and be part of the conversation. But the Twitch videos will not stay up for playback. You will have to like be there to watch it live or wait for the clips to come out on YouTube. Because on Twitch, if I do anything that has copyright in it, it has to be deleted from the account. It can't be available on playback.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's pretty much it. It's getting late for Ben and I have to work, so we're going to get out of here. But thank everybody for showing up. I appreciate everyone being here and all the fun. And I'll let you know more about the other podcasts. The Be Better Fans podcast is just kind of a roundtable discussion. It's not trying to really accomplish anything. It's just kind of getting thoughts and feelings out. And the Big L is going to be where you can come over and have a laugh. I don't want anybody to take it too seriously. It's just going to be for fun. But that's it. And we'll see everyone next week at the after party. And I don't know, Candidagraphs might have some more set photos. It's that time of year,
so anything could happen.
So anyway, talk to everyone later.